Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy weigh-in results day. So normally I would have filmed a video yesterday. I'm throwing you guys all off on what is going to be the new norm, so I apologize for that. But so my new weigh-in day moved from Thursday to Friday. So I asked you all to be prepared and ready to see my weigh-in videos right away Saturday morning, because I was going to film Friday and get the video up Saturday morning, and unfortunately I had a very busy day yesterday. I conquered so many things. I drove a total of 6 hours plus, all within that time frame, and I got to see my dad. Yay! Okay, so let me give you some backstory. First of all, I did weigh in yesterday. Let me give you those results now. My weigh-in amount was, I'm down 1.2 pounds, and I'm so grateful. My weigh-in was 189.2. Last week was 190.4, so that's a 1.2 loss. Yay! And I think it's all to do with primarily, one, I was tracking better this week, like tracked way more days than I've ever tracked on a regular pattern week. So I'm so thankful for that. Or I should say I've increased my tracking, so that made me successful. And then I purchased a gallon size water bottle. It's like bigger than my head. So let me go ahead and insert some photos so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so then so I was challenging myself to drink this full gallon of water every day, and I had done it. Like the first 2 days I did it. I got it. It came delivered to me on a Wednesday. I drank the full gallon on Wednesday. I drank the full gallon on Thursday. Yesterday was Friday. I was doing a lot of traveling. Didn't want to have to stop at restrooms multiple times, so I backed off my full gallon to drink, and now today I'm going back at it to hit a full gallon. This is like monumental for me in my life. I've always wanted to be a really good water drinker, but I'm not. And for me, yeah, I don't really care for the taste of water because it's just so bland and boring, unless I'm super thirsty, of course, and then it's like amazing. But I don't flavor it. It's just regular water, and I love it. I love seeing it in this 1 gallon situation. And because of all of the COVID stuff that's going on, and all I'm doing is staying at home most of the time anyway, this is such a way to just be able to get through that full jug and not have to worry about lugging it around on the go and constantly, you know, going to and from work all the time, carrying this big gallon of water jug or water bottle. So it's nice that I'm just in my home. I take it from room to room, set it down kind of like a baby. I nurse it like a baby in my arms, loving it, and I've been successful with it, so I'm so thankful. What I am noticing is that my body and my skin is kind of flushing out some toxins, and you can totally see, well, I may have a filter here or not. There are some breakouts on my face that I'm not too happy about, but whatever. It could be hormonal too. So, moving on. Those are some of the things that I did this week that helped me to be successful, so I'm grateful for that. And remember, it's a journey, people. Like, up and down, but a forward journey to lose the weight. So, so that's exciting. Then, Thursday, like, late afternoon, my sister emailed me and said that the nursing home where my dad is staying, and if you don't know some of this background story, I really can't get into it right now. Long story short, my dad is currently living in a nursing home, and prior to yesterday, I hadn't seen him since March. That was the last time I saw him, and we were going, if not every weekend, every other weekend. So I was seeing him so often that it got to a point where, you know, COVID hit, big wall, shut down, clamped down, and none of the residents in this building were able to see any loved ones. And this is echoed throughout the country. So it's, and to keep those residents safe, understandably so. So my sister sends me this email stating that the nursing home has X amount of tests that have come back negative for all the residents for X amount of time. So they're so grateful and happy. And now they've decided that they're going to open up being able to see your loved one, because they realized, and some of the state representatives there in the state of Minnesota have realized, that the importance that these elderly see family members and see loved ones is also just as important as keeping them safe, healthy, and alive. Because I think a lot of these elderly are kind of dying off in the nursing home because they aren't able to see the people who they're used to seeing. They're seeing no one. So the nursing home where my dad is staying, they allowed you to have these face-to-face visits with the loved one. 30-minute was our time length. You had to be wearing your masks, of course. You had to practice the social distancing, no touching, no kissing, no hugging. But you were able to sit down together with your loved one and be able to talk and catch up and just see them. So, of course, I jumped right on that, and I set up a time to come and see my dad yesterday. I took a day off of work and just made it happen. And so my daughter and I went to go see my dad. Again, only 2 family members at a time. My husband actually left yesterday to go out of town, so he wasn't able to come with me. So it was just nice to be able to take my daughter, go see my dad, and just catch up. And it was so wonderful, because he, with dementia, doesn't always remember who he's talked to or how often he's been out of the building. And so he said this is the first time he's been able to leave the building since he's gotten there, which I know is not correct. But it is nice, though, that he was able to get out in the nice sunshine and the warm air and just feel normal for a moment. And so my middle sister is going to be seeing him on Sunday, 2 more days. Well, tomorrow. Okay, so that was wonderful. Second thing is I got to see my girlfriend. We've been friends for just shy of 30 years. Throughout our life and the time that we were together, it was a very impactful time for me in my life. And unfortunately, she moved all the way across the country to Nevada, and I didn't visit her during the entire time that she lived there. So it had been many years since I've last seen her, but she's moved back to Minnesota, so then I was able to visit her yesterday as well. So it was just such a reunion and such a wonderful time. I was feeling so blessed yesterday, like beyond measure, so thankful and grateful. And so I just wanted to put some things in perspective for you, because I think to myself, like, when we're stuck at home and when we are just flooding our minds with the fact that we can't leave the house, and then that also then helps us to focus and concentrate on our weight or our weight loss journey, and maybe a little too much, because we don't have anything else to cloud our mind and to take our mind off of what we're constantly living in anyway all the time. So I guess what I'm saying is that it was just a nice distraction to get away from the house, get away from my scale, get away from my food choices, and just get away for a moment to see something that I think in the long run is more important. And here's what I'll say to cap it all off. In the end of our life, to me, there's 2 things that are important. It's not the scale. It's not the weight loss journey. It's not what weight loss devices you bought, what tools helped you lose weight, what meals you should or shouldn't have eaten. At the end of your life, and this ties in with material possessions as well, the 2 things that I think are most important is, where is your salvation, or where will your salvation lie? Where will you spend the rest of your days after you die? Do you feel okay and comfortable with that? And then 2, who is surrounding you? Who is around you that loves you? Are you going to die alone? So if you don't want to die alone, then you should be nurturing the relationships of the people who are here on earth that matter most to you. And that became apparent for me just yesterday, like even more so. So I'm making a conscious effort to nurture those relationships because, again, in the end, it's good to be on a weight loss journey, and it's good to keep yourself as healthy as possible in this body that we are given on this earth through this lifetime. But let's just go ahead and let's take care of each other. Let's think a little bit bigger than this scope, this one chapter in our life of our weight. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say about that. Going forward, what are my goals this next week? My goals going forward this next week is to continue tracking, because it is just always so helpful and beneficial to me. And then 2, continue drinking 1 gallon of water every single day. And 3, focus on meal planning and meal prepping like I have been. Last week was such a win-win for me. I was able to make the different meals that I had set out for myself. One of them was the chicken parmesan. That turned out wonderful. One of them was the cheesy asparagus tart from the Pioneer Woman. That was amazing and tasteful. I had a pork tenderloin in the crock pot with carrots and then a whole bunch of herbs from my own garden. Maybe I'll throw some pictures in from those meals too. But overall, I just feel like it was a win-win this past week, and it showed up on the scale. So I just want to repeat whatever was successful this week, and we'll bring it on over to this next week. So I hope you guys are able to find some successes through the week. Challenge yourself to repeat those successes, no matter how mundane it feels or how boring it is, because you're just sick of doing the same old, same old. Find something to revitalize and refresh that, and go with it. Find some new recipes. Find some new workouts. Do something that will work for you. And don't be afraid to try it and fail. I think it's still worth trying. So, okay, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your week, and the beginning of your week and next week. And I will see you guys next Friday. Friday is when I'm going to film. Next Saturday, you'll see my next video. Okay, that's all. Take care. Peace out. See you on the flip side.